What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're taking a look at this knife right here. This one is the Tuya Knives Voodoo. This is their model, new model collaboration here. This one is a David Freeman design, and we have the Freeman Knives logo right there on the stress relief cutout in the lock bar. Freeman Knives from David Freeman. It's a Tuya collaboration. Tuya, of course, being the OEM here. This thing has quite a lot to offer right here. Very premium, right? Savage looking premium knife right here. We're going to get into it. Of course, this knife and every other knife that you see here will be linked down below in the description. So if you want to learn more about any of these knives, you sure can. I believe the Voodoo is available on Tuya's website right now. So is the Caladan V2 as well. So definitely check it out. Let's go ahead and get things started here, right? Quick overall measurement on this bad boy. Certainly over 8 inches. 8 inches, really. So 8.1, 8.15 or so. We have an overall blade length here of 3.35. And the cutting edge is actually a little bit shorter than that. It's actually 2.75. So again, overall blade is 3.125. And the cutting edge is 2.75. The handle going to be a little bit bigger here. It's going to be around 4.75 inches. So those are your overall measurements right there on this bad boy. So it is a full size knife, of course. There's certainly no doubt about that. So let's do some size comparisons again. I'm going to go ahead and lay it down there next to the Tuya Caladan V2, right? The Caladan V2 is maybe a tad bit bigger. It's also a dancer, right? It's a table moose, so does the knife. But yeah, both of them are very, very premium, savage looking premium knives. Both of them are both of them are frame locks, right? This one is a collaboration with Skeleton Blade Works. So again, full size knife. Now, what's interesting about this one is that Wharncliffe, sheepsfoot Wharncliffe blade. So I got some of my Wharncliffe contenders right here. One of them being the Savage Yojimbo 2 from Microtech, right? And Michael Janik design. And I got the Vosteed RSKAOS, right? An RS Knife Works collaboration. And all of them have a Savage Wharncliffe blade going on, right? So the Voodoo here, right, is probably, it's a little bit bigger than the Yojimbo 2, but it does have a shorter cutting edge, right? In part because of that very significantly pronounced finger choil, right? The RSKAOS also has a finger choil, but still has a longer cutting edge. There you go. You guys be the judge right there. Wanted to, give you some accurate sort of comparisons there based on the category. Let's do some of the usual ones in the channel. There is your PN2. There's your Para 3. So bigger than the Para 3. Very comparable, yet a hair shorter than the PM2. Right? Take a look there for yourself. Demko AD 20.5. And the smaller brother, the Shark Cub, right? Both on 20 CV. One has titanium handles. The other one has aluminum handles. Check it out right there. All right, let's take a look at maybe something more on the budget category. Here is the Civivi Sentinel Strike. And then this is the Civivi Vision FG, right? Both of these came out last year, right? This is a budget version of the Vision R from We Knives. This is a budget version of the Cepheus, I believe, from We Knife as well. If anything, the one that compares to the Voodoo there the most will be the Vision FG. The Sentinel Strike is, a little bit bigger than both. And also in this budget category, of course, we have the very popular Raccoon and the CJRB Pyrite. The Pyrite having a Wharncliffe blade or sheepsfoot blade. Reverse tanto, right? Get the blade police out here. Going back and forth with this whole reverse tanto nonsense. But all right, you do you, right? If you like reverse tanto, then there you go. That's what that is. All right, so check it out, right? Obviously, the Voodoo is just a little bit bigger than both of these. But yes, so you have a full-size knife, right? Tad bit over 8 inches. What we have going on here for materials, right? Let's check out the blade first. We have a hollow ground going on, bell satin finish going on here. Not the deepest hollow, but it's, it's pronounced, right? You can feel it right there, running your finger through it. We have S90V on the blade, which I'm a huge fan of. By the way, that Caladan V2 is also on S90V. It's a pretty good steel, high-end premium steel that I'm really a huge fan of. You get, it's not super tough, right? But it is really good with stainless capability, and it does have an insane edge retention, right? Which is good, of course. We have the Tuya logo right here on this side, and we have the S90V printed tiny font right there. Then we move on to the handle. So the handle is, we have this orange peel bronze anodized titanium. Again, this one is a frame lock. It has you know, a little bit of, you know, that thin section that gets thicker as you get towards the back. You have a titanium pocket clip as well, which is not reversible. I guess you could make a point that, you know, it would be nice if it was reversible for lefties, but, you know, in the same token, right, you would end up with a filler tab on a premium knife on the show side. So, you know, maybe they make a lefty version of this knife. I'm not sure. But what's the action like on this one? Okay, so again, you have a crossbar lock, good access to the lock bar, by the way, right? Easy to disengage, right? Easy to push out of the way. You have a steel insert for steel on steel contact, which is going to be better, long lasting than titanium on steel contact. Ball bearings on this one, good, decently drop shot action. Check out the opening, the blade hole right here, which is really, really good. It really accommodates your finger regardless of where you put it. If I do my Spidey flick way down here, bam, I can get it open like that. If I do it a little bit closer up, I can still flick it, right? Just, you can, you know, you would have to make sure it lands in the circle per se, you know, like with the Yojimbo, you have to be very specific, making sure your, you know, nail lands right there. With the RSKAOS, you know, it's a little bit open, right? I'm a big fan of a little slightly bigger holes, right? Please don't insert any jokes in there, but if the hole is a little bit bigger, it is accommodating and you can access it a little bit better, right? So there's that. And, you know, here you have a pretty decently bigger hole there, and bam, see, you can do that Spidey flick very, very well every single time. Something about the acoustics on this one, take a listen to it. All right, something about the titanium scales, right? The little thing, you know, to it, right? Which I like the acoustics on it. Again, that drop shot action, which just give it a little bit of a shake and it knows exactly where to go. And yeah, thumb deployment, which will be the only other deployment option. You have no flipper, no front flipper, none of that. So just thumb deployment. Again, as long as you don't put unnecessary pressure on the lock bar. That's lock bar knife 101, right? I don't know if you guys remember back when I borrowed the Quiet Carry Drift from JD for EDC for the first time. I was checking out that as my first frame lock, and there I was putting unnecessary pressure on the lock bar like a total noob. So still happens to the best of us from time to time, right? So it's something that you have to make sure you try to avoid at all costs, especially with a frame lock, right? But yeah, great action. Ball bearings on here are really, really good. I believe these are ceramic ball bearings from the factory. Also has a ceramic D10 ball, right? And I want to say that D10 is tuned pretty good, right? It gives you just the right amount of tension for you to be able to flick it. I didn't run into any issues. I honestly think that it's tuned very well. I wouldn't have wanted it any stiffer or any looser than what it currently is. All right, so there's that. I like the D10 tuning. I believe Lefty thought about putting skiffs on this one, but he decided to leave it the way it was, just so that we could all experience it the way the knife comes and sort of share our impressions that way. Ergonomically speaking, so I have average hands, not the biggest of hands, not the smallest of hands. And here I am getting a full purchase, right? Still good amount of handle left. So if you had bigger bare paws, you should be okay. Where you really want to, you know, really grip this knife is that finger choil up there. You really want to get really good on that finger choil, right? And get some work done. You know, you can use that pokey tip right there, right? Get some really good utility cuts, draw cuts with this thing all day, every day, X-Acto knife style. That's what I love so much about a nice sheep's foot Wharncliffe blade. The ability to have a straight edge, right? And also a very good tip, right? For utility needs, right? For EDC tasks, right? That is the knife to go, in my opinion. And again, you know, you can forward choke on this thing. There's no jimping on the spine of the blade. Could have probably used some jimping, yes. Maybe they intentionally decided to do away with it. You know, unless you put Vaseline right there, you know, your finger probably won't slide off. But I'm sure some jimping could have helped, right? It wouldn't have hurt to have some, you know, but that's just me. You have a matching titanium backspacer right here, which looks nice. And I want to say that pocket clip feels like 8.5 out of 10. So, you know, not necessarily a full 10 out of 10, but it does, you know, kind of, you know, the harder I squeeze on it, right, I feel it a bit there. So, you know, 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good, pretty solid. So really good ergonomic, great action knife. Let's do a carry profile really quick. So let's do thickness against something like the 80-20.5. Is definitely going to be a little bit thicker, no doubt about that. What about something like the PM2, right, a little bit thicker. What about that RSKAOS? All right, the RSKAOS is a little bit thicker. And of course, Tuya's own Caladan V2. Right, check that out. All right, the Caladan V2, a tad bit slimmer. Right there, you guys be the judge. So how does it carry in the pocket, length and height here? So you do have a good amount of blade that sticks out. Right? It's going to be very similar to other knives, you know, like a Spyderco Para 3 right here, similar to that Yojimbo, right, which do stick out of the blade a significant amount. It's actually a lot less than the Yojimbo, so more aligned, you know, around the ballpark of that Para 3. You guys be the judge right there. So, and then what about something like the Demko AD 20.5, right? Sort of that same aesthetics. There's that Civivi Sentinel strike. You guys be the judge right there. So yeah, it is going to be, you know, it is a large knife, so it's a little bit long and also a little bit tall, right? That's sort of your takeaway right there in a nutshell. So let's do a quick blade stock thickness here. We have significantly, feels like a thick blade. Okay, 0.15, that's a little bit higher than the average 0.12 that I see here in the channel, right? A lot of knives aim for that 0.12. It's what I see the most of. So 0.15, if I can just get it to, there we go, 0.15 before it starts freaking out. Okay, and let's do a quick handle thickness then. That handle is gonna be 0.50, 0.51 or 0.50, check that out. 0.50, half an inch. That is the average that I see here in the channel, right? Half an inch for thickness on the handle, so good job there. Weight-wise, all right, let's see, this guy in the weight department, right, it definitely feels like a premium knife, has some weight to it as you would expect. Right here on the hand next to the Caladan V2, the Caladan V2 feels a little bit, I don't know, they feel really comparable. So I want to say 5 ounces right there, boom. What? That's what I'm talking about. All right, 5 ounces. I promise you I did not cheat. 5 ounces. And this one feels a tad bit lighter, but it's not very far. 4.7, how about that? My hand scales, guys, it's working, right? It's all coming together after doing all these videos. It's finally happening, right? Oh man, now the kind of stuff you get excited about. So yeah, 5 ounces on the dot with the Tuya Voodoo. Check that out. All right, so you know, you got a decent amount of weight. Again, not extremely heavy, you know, not extremely light. Feel for the amount of knife you're getting, right? There's also no carbon fiber on this one. It's all metal, titanium, and ACE9 EV. So you have that to consider. Let's do a quick hardware check on this bad boy. Strabito tool set is linked down below, right? My tools are highly recommendable. They're linked in the description if you want to check it out. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that is entirely up to you. With that in mind, let's close this bad boy. All right, safety first. What do we got? T8. Let's see, T8. That pivot better be T8. Yes, it is, right? T8 on the pivot. It is a captive pivot, so good job there. But I am seeing some smaller screws. Let's see, T6. We have T6 on the body screws, T6 on the pocket clip, and T6 on the lock bar insert. So, you know, you guys know how I feel about T6, right? You know, you're paying a decent amount of money for a premium knife like this one. It should come with, you know, T8. The bigger hardware is always appreciated. The Yojimbo has bigger hardware, T8 all around, except the pocket clip. The Knifeworks RSKAOS also, I think it came with T6 at first, but they quickly updated it to T8, except the pocket clip. So, you know, I think the overall consensus of the community is that we all appreciate T8 over T6. But is it taken away from the functionality? No. The only downside is when you get close to probably disassembling the knife, you may run into, you know, an issue with stripping a screw, right, and things like that. It's a lot harder to strip a T8 than it is stripping a T6. But, you know, again, a lot of companies do T6, right? The Demko AD 20.5, wish it had T8. It has T6 on the body screws. Another Shark Cub as well. So it's sort of like a hit or miss with companies. I really wish it became the new standard that they all did T8. You know, just, hey, let's all come to an agreement that, you know, the world could be a better place if we start using T8 going forward and just go from there. But honestly, that's just really nitpicking, right? My personal preference will be T8. Again, it doesn't make the knife any less of a knife or a wonderful tool. This thing cuts like crazy, as you'll see during the paper and cardboard cutting test. I really had a blast carrying this knife. feels good. It is my type of knife. I mean, this Savage blade right here is exactly what I'm into. And when I first found out about the Tuya Voodoo, I'm like, that's great. Another company is offering a Voodoo, which is great because the null knives Voodoo, which is a whole different model from a different company, that one sells out so quickly. Never gonna be able to get my hands on that. But here's the Tuya version of the Voodoo, David Freeman design right here. This one looks pretty hot, right? Really, really good, super savage. And this one you can certainly get your hands on their website. So pretty cool frame lock style knife right here. Let's go ahead and do a very scientific paper cutting test, shall we? Let's put this Bell Satin Finish hollow ground to the test, S90V steel. Without further ado, check out them swirls right there. Oof. You can tell this thing's gonna be a slicer. Wow, laser beam style. Right, that straight edge is going to put in work. So we know I can do paper all day, every day. Absolutely no doubt about that. What about some cardboard? We have some everyday diaper box cardboard. This one comes with the Artistic Works or what have you. This one is single wall cardboard. So remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle. I'm going to do the forward choke option here to avoid this corner from sinking into the cardboard, and it will look something like this. What? Yeah, this thing is, wow. Let's say large knife for cardboard cutting. Absolutely, right? And it's also going to be a knife that's going to be significantly, have a long enough geometry or length to the blade where you could do cardboard cutting for a long period of time. Maybe you'll put on some gloves or something for added comfort. But ergonomically, I'm locked in and I can cut as many cardboard or as much cardboard as I want. And that S90V, which is going to hold an edge, you know, for a decently long time, and that hollow ground combination are both going to be putting some work for you, no doubt. So you guys rate it in the comments. It's not sharp, brand new out of the box. It definitely has seen some use. So how much of an edge has this guy retained? You guys let me know in the comments. If anything, you know, I typically like the stress relief cutout to be on the inside versus the outside, but I can see where they wanted to do their collaboration logo right there instead of in the blade somewhere. So it does cut back on the billboarding department in the blade, so you know, give them props for that. It doesn't affect the pocket clip at all because the pocket clip doesn't land anywhere near where that stress relief cutout is, which is good. Check out the alignment right there. Looks maybe a hair closer to the left than the right, but not by much. And I'm sure you could probably loosen it up, do the little, you know, wedge paper trick in there and re-tighten it up, and it should be good. As far as blade play, let's see, up and down, rock solid. And side to side, that's rock solid. So yeah, pretty solid lockup right there on this one. And I would spine whack it, but it's not my knife. So, you know, I believe Kevin did a test on it and it did not fail. So it did pretty good with the spine whack test. It being a, you know, crossbar lock and all. And with time, the idea is that as the steel bar insert wears off, the lock bar is going to drive in more and more into the tang of the blade. So creating a more solid lockup. So that's the idea right there. This guy is, believe it or not, 5 ounces, but it has quite a bit of milling on the inside. So they're still trying to get at that weight the best they can. It comes in at 5 ounces. That's not an issue for me. I like, you know, feeling a good chunk of weight there from a premium knife in the pocket. Yeah, carrying this thing as a primary was really good. I think it's a pretty good looking knife, right, in my opinion. What I really wish they had done differently is I really wish they had done some sort of milling on the titanium, right? This day and age, right? Plain titanium, it's okay. It's okay. I like when titanium has a little bit of personality, right? Like some milling, some lines, like on the RSKAOS. I just checked out the Tuya Wrath, also from Tuya Knives, and that one has frag titanium and has, I believe, diamond titanium too. You know, it has a combination of different milled patterns. And, you know, me personally, I love milled patterns on a knife. My AD 20.5 with a diamond pattern. Oof, chef's kiss, I love it, right? It gives it a little bit of texture, a little bit of personality, right? Never hurts. So really love that. So yeah, long story short, you know, maybe a little bit of a, you know, maybe milled pattern on the knife would have added that additional touch, right, of personality. If anything, again, good access to the lock bar from here. I like how there's like a little swedge going on there for access when thumb deploying it right there. That really helps with the thumb. That's good. They thought about that, of course. And yeah, the hole is nice and accessible there. Love Spidey flicking this thing. So yeah, ultimately great action, great materials. Love S9EV. Love titanium on a premium knife, right? Great solid lockup. Overall, this thing is a great rock star of a knife, and I really love all about it. Could, you know, again, have had maybe some milling. That would have been the cherry on top, right? Nice little milled pattern handle to me. Boom, that would have completed it. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a knife designer, but you know, I do have a personal taste for the kind of knives that I like. And that's sort of where my taste sort of leans. Not that there's anything wrong with this one, and you know, I wouldn't mind this version on my collection either, right? Just more so where my taste sort of leans towards, you know, those milled pattern sort of handle type of knives. But yeah, that's just you know, what I wish the knife had. Not that that takes away from the knife in any way, shape, or form. The only other thing that comes to mind is for some reason, some people like to disengage knives and let the blade land on their fingernail, which I don't know what the deal is with that and why people do it like that. I find myself doing it that way one time. The blade did land, like straight up. This was last night. The blade did land on my thumb like this. And that was just a reminder myself not to be dumb and to always disengage a lock bar the way that I typically disengage a lock bar, which is blade or knife upside down, right? So gravity's still pulling the blade backwards. I can disengage, give it a little bit until I bypass the detent ball. That gives you enough time for the blade to stay in place, get my fingers out of the way, and shake close, right? I don't know what the deal is with people wanting the blade to land on their fingernail, only to then close. I don't know. Some people like it like that. Me personally, this is the way I unlock my frame locks, right? Just a little bit so it holds the blade in place, and then shake drop. Boom. All day, every day, and you're not going to be in harm's way. It's not going to cut you in any way. You're good to go, right? And the only other thing will be maybe the distance between the index finger from the rest of your fingers when you're doing the forward choke, right? For a lot of people, that might not be an issue at all, right? So I'm just, again, nitpicking here. If anything, right, maybe this might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, maybe not, right? There's just a little bit of a thickness and quite a bit of distance between here and here. I noticed that when forward choking, right, the index is, you know, sort of like distant from the rest of my other fingers, but again, not really a big deal, right? I would have wanted maybe a closer feel. Well, let me get my pyrite out here, right? Forward choke, right? You see what I'm talking about? When you forward choke, your fingers there are a lot closer together. Civivi Sentinel Strike, forward choke. See, the fingers are closer together. You get the idea, right? So whereas here is a tad bit more spread apart. Again, not a big deal, right? For you, that might not be an issue at all. Just, again, something I noticed while carrying the knife that I wanted to point out to you. But yeah, other than that, honestly, you know, great solid knife, great design. I want to say David Freeman did a really good job with this one. I haven't checked out any of his other designs in the past, so if his designs are as savage and as good looking as this one is, then yeah, he does a pretty good job, and I might be checking out more of his work. I did see Neve's nice video where he talks about how they do a good job with the plunge grind being way back here, so you can get a bajillion sharpens out of this guy without ever running into the plunge grind or getting a smile, which is good. Not to mention the edge is far away from the handle too, so as you run it across the stone, right, you're never going to have an issue with, you know, scraping the handle in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I could go on and on about this knife. Honestly, I had a great experience with the knife. I enjoyed everything about it, right? It's finished very well. Tuya is stepping up their game, right? Lately, they've been doing some awesome OEM work. They have some great models. They are currently working on the Tuya Wrath version 2, so that's definitely one to check out as well. Keep that in the back of your mind, because you're going to start seeing some videos across YouTube on that. Hopefully I get a chance to check one out myself eventually, share with you guys. But that one's looking really good based on the pictures that I see on Instagram. You should definitely follow Dave Warren from Tuya Knives on Instagram. That way you can be up to speed with all the new Tuya Knives releasing. Check out Lefty EDC's channels. You know, shout out to him for the opportunity to check this one out, right? Check out his channel if you haven't already. But that's been it, guys. Again, this guy, highly recommended. Link down below. Go ahead and check it out. It is available for purchase every night. Every knife that you saw in this video is linked down below. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that is entirely up to you guys. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know if I missed anything. Let's hang out in the comments, right? Any questions, concerns, any additional question you may have, right? Let me know in the comments. I'll be making sure to get back to you as soon as possible. typically after I upload a video, right, for the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm on top of the comments, making sure I answer as many of them as possible. And sometimes I get comments from videos from a year ago, and I still answer questions on those videos as well, on those comments as well. So guys, if you made it to the very end, you guys are the real MVPs. I appreciate your love and support. Smash that like button if you haven't already. It is absolutely free and it helps the channel a ton. Also subscribe if you like seeing knife and ADC content on a daily basis. I promise you'll be worth coming back for more. And if you want to support the channel a step further, you can do that on Patreon, link in the description, or you can simply support the channel here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Well, that's been it, guys. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Check out the unboxing and review also on the Tuya Caladan V2. I'm going to put a card right here for you guys to check it out, either here or both, all of the above. I don't know. We'll see. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Thank you for hanging out with me until the very end. You guys are the real MVPs. You guys are the GOATs. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you, fans, on the next one. Peace.